We are reading the book The Absolute Law of Karma, written by Param Pujya Gurudev Pandit Sri Ram Sharma Acharya. Day 2. Last audio we understood what is karma and how is it formed and how is it recorded mainly. So it is our own subconscious mind that is making a record of each and every single deed that we are doing in our lives and is leaving an imprint on our psyche. Even science has proved that now, that all mental, verbal, physical communication activities happening in our lives are creating a subtle impression on the deeper levels of our psyche, because we as a sentient being have a discriminative mind, and our subconscious is basically the storehouse of recording these sins and virtues we are committing. So it is not a deity sitting outside like Chitragupta, but it is our own subconscious mind. And that is the fundamental law of karma, which actually governs all the happiness or suffering that we get to experience in this human life. Now let's read further. In Indian spirituality, karma stands for any physical, verbal, mental, or social activity. It means that each karma produces an imprint or rekha which cannot be erased before creating a reaction. That is the karma phal. There is a belief that the Creator, which is Lord Brahma, inscribes the destiny on the forehead of a human being, and this divine inscription cannot be erased by anyone. Vidhi ke likhe ko mita nahi sakte. So here Gurudev is trying to explain to us how karma is being created with each and every activity, even a mental thought or a subtle emotion that we are feeling can create an imprint inside us, and not just the physical activities that we do. This is called a karma rekha, and this cannot be erased from our psyche, from our subconscious mind, until and unless it has produced the desired result or the desired reaction, which is known as the karma phal. Now going forward, I might use a lot of Hindi phrases which will be only to facilitate a more exact and deeper meaning of the text that we are reading, because of course our Matra Bhasha is Hindi, and a lot of the meanings in the Indian scriptures can be conveyed to its absolute accuracy with the right context only in Hindi or Sanskrit. Further, Gurudev explains that the Creator, according to our Sanatan Dharma, Lord Brahma, out of the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So Brahma is the Lord of creation, Vishnu is the Lord of management of that creation, and Mahesh, which is Lord Shiva, is responsible for destruction and recreation. So Lord Brahma, who is the creator, has actually written this destiny on the forehead of our human beings, and this divine inscription cannot be erased. So this reference is actually made in terms of the karma rekha, and not really mentioned literally but metaphorically. So they say vidhi ke vidhan ko koi mita nahi sakta. That means that no one can erase the reaction or the result that a karma or then the imprint that an activity has created, unless you have experienced that result or reaction. Let's move further. Let us examine this concept from a scientific point of view. Now Gurudev is trying to give us an actual scientific meaning of what has been said till now. Microscopic examination shows innumerable furrows in the grey matter all over the brain. Medical science has not so far come to know the biological implications of these indentations. Comparative microscopic research studies have shown that density of these granulations in the grey matter of highly evolved persons and thinkers is much more than in the case of common masses. So here Gurudev is actually presenting a scientific point of view wherein he is trying to explain that these indentations and crenulations, which are these dents and furrows in the actual physical brain, are much more dense in evolved people who are thinkers than in a lot of common folks. It shows that these microscopic lines in the grey matter of the brain are nothing but compact, subtle impressions created by external activities which we take as imprints of the mental, vocal and physical actions. So the reason behind the increased density of these indentations in more evolved souls are because they have more imprints, they imbibe more, and they have more such impressions being created by all their external activities in this physical world. This record of activities, whether good or evil deeds, on the neurons of grey matter prove the existence of an intelligent mechanism which Hindu mythology refers to as the deity Chitragupt. In Sanskrit language too, the word Chitragupt means a hidden picture. It shows that there exists in the human mind a hidden chamber, an inner sentient mechanism, Antahachetna, or a subtle state of consciousness, the Sukshmaman, which we may compare it with a backup file of executable programs in the computer parlance. So here it is hence proven that these indentations or these furrows, these dents in the grey matter of our physical brain are nothing but the imprints of our physical activities created by our mental, vocal, physical and emotional imprints that are being recorded on this physical matter. And this in itself is a very intelligent mechanism which in our Hindu mythology is referred to as the deity Chitragupt. Now the word Chitragupt actually means चित्त में रहने वाला गुप्त consciousness या गुप्त चेतना. चित्त means antahakaran or the innermost part of our consciousness is called Chitt. Maybe some of you have heard about Sat Chit Ananda, which is the absolute consciousness of which is the consciousness of absolute bliss or God consciousness also. So that is referred to as Chit, the innermost being of our consciousness. And Gupta means someone that is hidden or someone that is not out in the open, or something or someone that is hidden. So Chit and Gupt together is sometimes in colloquial language known as Chitragupt, which is nothing but the imprints of our karmic actions. It is also referred to as the Sukshmaman or a subtle state of consciousness, or Antaha Chetna, that is the inner sentient mechanism. And in a logical sense, we can understand it as a backup file of executable program. So whenever it is needed, that time it is called for from the innermost storage space. Let's read further. It is well known that the subtle body or the Sukshma Sharir, coexisting with the physical human body, has 4 components. Man, the source of desires, longings and aspirations. Buddhi, the discriminative faculty which deliberates, takes decisions and determines a course of action. Chitta, which stores traits, habits, inclinations and temperament. And Ahankar, which is the overall personal sense of identity. It is also established that Chitta carries forward its record of good and bad impressions after the dissolution of the physical body. So here Gurudev is explaining us the concept of Antahakaran Chatushta, which is the one layer deeper than the physical body. First of all, let us understand there are 3 levels of existence of our soul. First is the physical body, which is the Sthul Sharir, which is the body which we can see, touch and move around with. Second is the subtle body or the Sukshma Sharir, which is the thought body or the energy body. All the thoughts we have that are stored in our Sukshma body, which is also in Hindi called the Sukshma Sharir, which is created or made up of our vichar, the thoughts, the things that we think with our mind. The third and the more deeper existence is our Karan Sharir, which is our spiritual body or our astral body. It is consisting or made up of the emotions that we carry, the bhavnaएं, the emotions that we have make up our Karan Sharir or the emotional body. So these are the 3 levels of existence that we have. Now in the physical body also, apart from this body, there is another more deeper level of existence which is called the Antahakaran Chatushta, which is the 4 parts of our inner self, which is the Man, Buddhi, Chit and Ahankar. Man is the mind, Buddhi is the intellect, Ahankar is our ego or the sense of identity, and Chit is the innermost part which carries all our sanskars, all the traits, habits, our temperament, the swabhav that we have, and our inclinations, which are also known as the pravritti. So it appears that the expression Chitragupt of the scriptures came to be known as Chitragupt from Chittagupt in the course of time. Hence the internal mechanism of mind which creates the compact subtle recordings of human activities could be taken as the deity Chitragupt of human mythology. No doubt, this intelligent mechanism of Chitragupt is continuously engaged in maintaining the records of all living beings, since each being has its own personal Chitragupt, and therefore for the entire population of animate beings, there is an equal number of Chitragupts inside them. Thus, maintenance of records of innumerable beings does not seem to be an impossibility. So now we have understood it is actually our innermost being of the physical body that records these subtle imprints in our subconscious mind. It creates these sanskaras inside us. It creates this space for storage of everything good or bad that has happened, or it creates the impression of everything good and bad that we do and experience into our subconscious psyche to be able to carry forward, store and record. Therefore, every being has their own individual Chitragupt inside them. Hence, it is not something outside us or a deity that is recording, but our own psyche or subconscious mind that is creating this recording.
हमारे YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल आइकन पर क्लिक कीजिए ताकि आने वाली सभी वीडियो की नोटिफिकेशन आपको मिलती रहे। आप सभी को बहुत बहुत थैंक यू।